So hello guys, welcome back to another analysis in our video. As today we do an in-depth analysis of Chelsea 1-0 victory over Spurs. The XG however suggests that Chelsea should have scored a minimum of 3 goals, which I do agree, and Tottenham were completely dominated. This further adds the long streak that Chelsea have had away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, meaning that Chelsea have collected more points than any away side since the inauguration of the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now, it was a game of many intrigues. We had a lot of tactical nuances that actually happened. The role of certain players was super great. We saw the way João Pedro, Caicedo, the way Maresca used his fullbacks, and in particular, I'm going to talk about the way Maresca used his fullbacks because he was quite unique. And most importantly, Moises Caicedo, oh my God, we are probably looking at one of the best defensive midfielders that we'll ever see. And you can even see it from the heat map. Look at the heat map. This is a player who just dominated the entire pitch. He was everywhere. Interceptions, tackles, and I'm telling you, he won the man of the match, and deservedly so, because Caicedo was all by himself. And you can just see this pick from the goal that Chelsea scored. You can see the role of Caicedo, making 3 pressures, despite the other teammates just standing there. Caicedo showing it. If only Chelsea had 11 Caicedos, we would probably win the treble. And let me not just forget how Fofana was. And you can see, when you improve that quality in defense, his pace, the way he was able to recover, the way he was able to read the game, his 1v1 defending, superb. And immediately, we begin with our analysis. Now, if you're very new in this channel, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section area below, and let's begin. Maresca went with the 4-2-3-1, while Spurs went with the 4-3-3. But a huge thing that we didn't expect is the way Maresca actually decided to use both Gusto and Reece James. And this time it was unique. It was Reece James starting in midfield and Gusto starting in the wide areas. And what happened is the way Chelsea were pressing. Chelsea were looking to press in a man-oriented fashion in midfield, meaning that they went man-to-man with all the 3 Tottenham midfielders, and only João Pedro being the one to apply pressure. The wingers would start in a reserved position, awaiting the ball to be played. And because of this, Sarr in particular was only the player who looked to roam in between the lines position. But Caicedo was swift. And you can see here, whenever Tottenham attempted to play the ball in between the lines, Caicedo was there. And Tottenham lost the ball 41 times. Oh my God, 41 times. That is more than they have in the entire season. I don't think there is a team that has lost possession like that. But it was the way Chelsea were structured in their press. You can see here Tottenham have the ball. And look at Caicedo. Look at the position that Caicedo is holding. And look at the position of Enzo. Enzo realizes that he has to drop to cover Kudus because Caicedo is actually going for the ball. And what? A simple thing. And boom, Chelsea are able to win that ball. And immediately Chelsea are able to win that ball, Chelsea again move forward to try and press. And you could even see this from the goal that Chelsea scored. You can see here, the ball is being played back to Van Daven. And look at Caicedo. He does not allow Van Daven that space on the ball. He goes forward. And because Caicedo is superb in his job of actually winning the ball, Caicedo is able to win the ball off Van Daven. And once he's able to win the ball, he does not stop. He proceeds to carry the ball. Even when Danson tries to come and cover across, he's able to control the ball and hand it to a platter to João Pedro, who actually manages to take Chelsea 1-0 up in that first half. And it just shows the determination of players. And this was the epitome of what we saw when Chelsea played Liverpool. Now, I'm going to say another thing now with regards to when Chelsea had the ball. Now, when Chelsea had the ball, they had something different than what Spurs had. So Spurs were again looking to try to press Chelsea, similar to Chelsea, in a man-oriented fashion, in deeper positions. But the thing with Chelsea is that Chelsea were pushing their fullbacks so high and wide and trying to bait Tottenham wingers to come and press the wide centre-backs. And this is where the problem is. And I have to give credit to Robert Sanchez because Robert Sanchez's passes were so intricate. Majority of the times, Sanchez always identified that the fullbacks will be free, and majority of the time he would play a lovely ball to Gusto and Cucurella, who will receive the ball in spaces and then look to play passes in behind for the runs of Garnacho and the runs of Neto down the right. And even when Tottenham wingers were looking to sit tight on Chelsea's fullbacks, what we started to notice was the way Maresca was looking to go. Maresca wanted Sanchez to play those balls directly. So that's why I'm saying that we are seeing a shift in football where teams are deciding to go just direct. So you saw the number of long balls that Sanchez had in this game was so high because he constantly kept on going long. This might sometimes have caused disruptions in the team, but majority of the time it helped. Now, the way Chelsea used their fullbacks was quite unique. Rhys James and Gusto gave Tottenham problems because one time it is Gusto who's inverting from that right back position to go and occupy that half space, and Rhys James playing alongside Caicedo. And I was so impressed by this. Sometimes we will even see Rhys James dropping between the two centre backs because no, we didn't have a ball playing centre back. Both Chalobah and Fofana are not so good at that. Rhys James will be the one dropping deep and then using his excellent passing range to pick out players in the wide areas, to pick out players making runs in behind. And I was so happy seeing this. And because of this, it was so difficult to predict where Chelsea are going to move. Cucurella down the other side, sometimes he will look to overlap, drag Kudus out of position, and that will open up spaces for Fernandes to receive the ball in between the lines and create that overload against Spurs. And Spurs realized that because of this overload that Chelsea had in midfield, they had to come narrow. And this further made it difficult for them because Chelsea now decided to invert both Cucurella and Rhys James. And now Rhys James, together with Neto, together with Gusto, were able to create that triangle down the right, looking to manipulate. And that is how Chelsea constantly created problems. Now look here. Gusto has the ball. No, not Gusto. Neto has the ball. Look at the position of Malo Gusto. Look at the position of João Pedro, who's occupying the two centre backs. And because of the position of Gusto, and see here again, Gusto has the ball, and Gusto is the one who has tucked in deeper. And you can't see Cucurella because Cucurella has already pushed forward. And you can see now the position of both Rhys James and Caicedo as the two twin pivots. And now here the ball is played to Caicedo, and credit has to go to Caicedo because Caicedo is able to change this situation where he's being tightly marked, he's being tightly stifled, and he's able to wriggle himself out. Wriggle himself out he does, and is able to play the ball directly to Fernandes. And once he plays the ball to Fernandes, now Chelsea are attacking Tottenham's backline. I'm just imagining if Palmer was in this game because there was a lot of spaces to exploit. Here, Fernandes has the ball and is able to play the ball onto Garnacho, who's making a run. And in this case, it was Fernandes who attempted a shot, and Chelsea actually lost that opportunity. But if he plays Fernandes, Garnacho there, then Chelsea are in for business. Here again, look at the structure that Chelsea are looking to actually implement. And the movement of both Rhys James and Gusto was super impressive. Because they never knew. Sometimes Rhys James will drop into the back line and Gusto will come in midfield. Sometimes Rhys James will move to the midfield and Gusto will move to the back line. Sometimes Gusto will look to overlap Pedro Neto, and constantly those constant overloads. And it showcases that sometimes we are so quick to judge the manager based on the lineup, but actually when that team actually goes onto the pitch, you see something different. Now, I wanted to say this. I've realized something with Chelsea. When they are facing a tough team, they always turn up. You always see a Chelsea that is quite different, a Chelsea that is disciplined, a Chelsea that is robust, a Chelsea that is aggressive. But whenever Chelsea face the lower teams, that is where Maresca's arrogance kicks in. So the difference between where Chelsea, what team is, because Chelsea, they are level on points with Tottenham and Manchester United, but Chelsea is quite clear a superior side. The reason why Chelsea are in where they are in the Premier League table is, I believe, is probably because of Maresca's arrogance. Maresca does not respect the lower teams as much as he respects the top teams, because the way Chelsea play teams like Liverpool, teams like Tottenham, even the way Chelsea were looking to play stronger teams, even PSG, they play it differently than the way they play lower level teams. So I am expecting moving forward that Maresca will start taking each Premier League game with a lot of seriousness. Remember, it is not usually the bigger teams that win you titles or get you points. It's the smaller teams. So once again, I'm really appreciative of you staying with us till the end of this video. I will be looking forward to do a follow-up video on this. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.